Hey, what's up guys? It's Cody with StillPhotographyAL.com. So I wanted to do a video on long exposure photography. So we're going to do something a little bit different. What we're going to do is we're going to take one image and we're just going to basically break down the entire shoot. We're going to show you how we shot it, what our settings were, what were we thinking when we were composing the image. We're just basically going to go through everything with this photo. So you guys really enjoy this video, and thanks a lot. Alright guys, so the image that we're going to be working with today was an image we shot a couple of months back. This was a promotional shot we did for the Elgin Fire Department that's in Elgin, Illinois. So when we were kind of looking and kind of thinking how we wanted to compose this shot, we knew we wanted to use this building. I really love the architecture, and if you look, it has some really kind of cool lights right here. You have a couple of green lights right there, and you have some red ones, and I loved the lights kind of coming down on top of the bay doors and the lit up 7 in the middle. I knew that it was going to make for a really cool shot. So we absolutely knew that we did not want to use direct sunlight. So you can't really tell this, but we shot this image at like 6:45 at night, and it was really dark outside. It just looks a lot more light than because we did such a long exposure. So what we basically did when we wanted to set up the shot, we wanted to make the shot look really nice and even and kind of give a cool aspect to it. So we had the ladders right here, razor ladders on both sides, and we tried to kind of meet in the middle the best we could. And we took the amulets and put that right there, kind of at an angle. And same thing with this other engine. So we kind of got it set up the way we wanted it to, and we just kind of was waiting for our light to fall off. So we'll just kind of talk exactly about how we shot this image. So we shot this image, we did a 30-second exposure for this image, which is a really long exposure. We shot at f20, and then we shot at ISO 200. So we shot this at f20 because I wanted everything to be crazy sharp, and I also, for this particular shot, wanted to get my shutter speed as long as we possibly could. By the way, we shot this on a good tripod. The wind wasn't blowing too bad, so it turned out nice and super sharp. There wasn't any kind of camera shake or anything like that. Anything below, I would say a 15 or a tenth of a second shutter speed, you definitely want to be using a tripod for. Now, a lot of people say anything below like 30th of a second with shutter speed, you want to use a tripod, but so it gave us really good results. So if you kind of look in, everything from corner to corner in this shot is absolutely sharp. And then also right here on the front, I think we're focusing somewhere about right in there. So another thing using an aperture like f20 did for us was, if you notice, it gave us these really cool starburst effects. You get that when you start going in f11, or well, maybe not f11, but in f20, f22, something like that. It just makes, I absolutely love it. So what we did was we started shooting. I'll actually go back. This was actually the shot we kind of started with. And so what we were using, I think we're using the 16 to 35, and we were all the way zoomed in to 16 millimeters. Or zoomed out, I'm sorry, not zoomed in. You can see this first shot. This is actually two different shots right here. But if you see this first one, we shot at ISO 400, so that cut our shutter speed down. This was pretty much in the exact same lighting. It cut our shutter speed down to 20 second exposure. Okay, so we'll go back to this. Now, we were shooting across the road right here, and the big challenge for this was a really busy road. I mean, it was, like I said, 6 something at night, and everybody was getting off work and going to do this and doing that. I think this was on a weekend, so it was absolutely crazy busy. So we were going for something like this. But, we had the fire department about, a quarter of a mile down this way and a quarter of a mile down the opposite way, blocking off traffic, and that's how we managed to get this shot. But if you can actually look right here on the fire trucks, there's actually some headlights that you can see. But it really doesn't bother me too much. I think it just kind of adds a little to it, so it doesn't bother me at all. So I knew by the time we took this shot, we maybe had, oh man, like a half a mile backed up of each direction with traffic. So I kind of had a cool idea. What we were going to do was, since we were shooting at such a low shutter speed, of a 30-second exposure. And the trucks were perfectly still. The wind wasn't blowing the ladders around too much or anything like that. So I told the firefighters, just go ahead and let all the cars come from both ways. And as soon as I saw the first car, we started taking the image. Well, it showed at low shutter speeds like that, or long exposures. I'll quit calling them low shutter speeds. It's going to give you kind of this effect, okay? Because it's basically recording the light that's coming through, and anything that's not moving is going to stay nice and sharp, but anything that's moving is going to kind of blur out. So that's kind of how you see this kind of creative shots done like that. There's definitely a million different ways you can go with something like that, but I think that this shot turned out really, really cool. So I'll just kind of go through one quick thing of what we did. We shot this at 30-second exposure, f20, because we wanted everything to be super sharp. Now ISO, a lot of people when they're doing long exposures, they'll bump their ISO big time, and that's gonna get, it's gonna make your sensor more sensitive to light, and it's gonna drop your shutter speed. So if you want to do longer exposures or kind of creative shots or something like this, definitely take your ISO back down. So you'll get and then jack your aperture up, so you'll get your longer exposures. And so that definitely you can kind of pull shots like this off and just kind of play with light and how the light's moving and whatnot. So I think that this shot turned out absolutely awesome. So you guys, if you have any questions or comments that you guys would like to see kind of answered on the side or anything like that, make sure you guys go to our contact page. You can email us directly from there, or you could just go to your email and email us at stillphotographyal@gmail.com. And I really kind of hope this video kind of helps you guys out a little bit. Thanks so much, guys. Cody Hensley with stillphotographyal.com.